Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the second video that I made today about some repairs on any scooter. And this time is not about Ultra G, QR, Q1 Hammer that you all see in my videos all the time because those are the two scooters that I own and I use them to make videos of any problem that those scooters have. But this one is going to be a video of any kind of scooter, any scooter that is electric scooter that, all of a sudden your scooter just stop working, you don't know what happened. So I'm going to be teaching you all some tips to look for before you start panicking. So I got this Ultra G here that I use all the time. I still got a QR, but a QR is okay. So what happened is last time I was riding this scooter and I stopped at the zebra crossing for pedestrians to cross over. And when it finished, then I press my throttle to go. Like now, you see my scooter should be flying right now. This thing is crazy fast. So this, I should be smashing my TV on the wall. And I see right there, but you see that it's not working. So it's not working because if you look well, you can see it's a sign that look like exclamation sign. So most of these scooters are most of these LCDs on any type of scooter because this LCD manufacturer might be the same or they might have different names for it, whatever it is, but the setup I think is the same because when you go through the programming, it look like they all set up on the same programming. So the sign here normally comes when you hold your brakes or when you apply your brakes because this is what cut the power supply to your motors. The moment you hold the brake, if this is not here, you're going to be seeing that at the moment you hold your brake because that's still the power supply. So if you're saying this on your scooter, while the scooter is not going, you press this, it means that there's something wrong somewhere. So the my situation, what happened is I don't know if you all I got some videos about this mudguard problem on this scooter. I made some video. This mudguard got broken, 2 times, and I got it welded, but this time it's not broken, it's just loose. But I lose it because I want to check some stuff to be sure where the fault is coming from. That's why I lose it. And I took the deck off as well. So let me just I'm gonna take the deck off and then okay. Right. So take the deck off and put the deck there, get these wires out and let it be. Those controllers, mini motor controllers, they just down there. I don't know if y'all can see. That's what I keep saying on my channel, that this scooter is a South Korea scooter. Come with a controller. On it, it says mini motor Ultra G. I don't know what it is, but that's why it's on the controller. So when this scooter first broke, then in my other video, I made a video about riding this scooter. Then one day, the mud got loose, and what happened was the tire was grinding on these wires. Are usually in this. They were all encased in this coating. So the tire grind on this coating, wear the coating off, and where actual wires off, and all the wires are exposed, with the copper side touching each other. It's not good. If that happens, in the worst scenario, you might blow your controller because all these wires go straight and connected to the controller. And because they are different line, if one line touch another line, they might increase some voltage or some current somewhere on the board, and you might start blowing your MOSFET or transistors or the BUs, the microfarads, and all those resistors and all that. So the first time when this scooter stopped working, this is this part. So you should have tape, like you got this tape here, and tape there. The last one is the current one. Before this side here was like in this, was in case up to here. The only problem I had was this side, which the tire grind on where the mudguard got broken into two, but I got it repaired already. So then the scooter just came with the same sign. The same sign that was there before. The scooter came with the same sign when that happened the last time. And I had to, separate the wires, tape them. And then when I put the scooter on again, I have to use the remote key to, put it off and on. And then the sign disappear and then the motor turns and everything works. This time around, when I was riding and that happened, what I realized was the actual mudguard is not broken, but it was loose. and I didn't notice. So it means that for the time that I've been riding on this very fast, I was doing sometime, 55, 60, in the city, sometime when the road is clear, and I look like the cops and all that. I'm not saying that you should be riding your scooter fast like that, but sometimes it's just so tempting, you know what I'm saying? So I've been doing that. And now knowing what I was doing that, jumping over all the speed ramp, my wires, this part of the wire, because all this was also rounded with insulation tape. So I ran all this in a very thick insulation tape. So this time the tire grounded on insulation tape, but I didn't get to any of these wires. So these are all the old first time when I tape it is the same tape. I haven't taken those one off, but I've checked it. All the wires are intact. That's good. The side that I've taped now is the new side that happened. So that separate the wires one more time so that this could I had to put in a taxi and bring it home. And then when I got home, I find some time. Then I check the wires again, separate the wires and check. The sign is still there on the LCD. I tape the wires, the sign is still there. That I know that this time is something big. So when you have a sign like this on your scooter, the first thing you need to check is to check that your brakes are not stuck. So you hold your brake and you release them. Hold it, release them, and it's still there. Then you have to go and check your brake line, come to the brake caliper, check if it's not loose, if nothing is stuck. It will be advisable sometimes just pull this pin out, then the brake pad will loose, shake them to be sure that nothing is stuck in between, causing those errors. Or sometimes what I did was I actually took these two, alarm key both out and remove the whole caliper, remove the brake shoes, check inside, use a brush just like blow inside, and then put the brake shoes back to be sure. I just want to eliminate the possible thing first before starting to think about the side. And then also check your hydraulic fluid line to see if they're now loose, leaking, and all that. So when you do that, you do the same with the front side as well. You got a front side there. When you finish that, then what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to come now to check your brake adjustment screw, which is inside there. So you have to, if it's too tight, loosen it all the way out, but not all the way out to come out. Don't let it come out, just loosen it enough so you know that the brakes are very loose. Like when you hold them, the brake, you can hold the brake all the way to the handle, but you can see that it's not catching. That means that it's loose. If you do all that and still the sign is still there, then it means that your problem might be either the LCD, the whole LCD, this thing right here, or the controller. So the way we're going to be checking the LCD is to know that the LCD is working. There's something there, but make sure that you don't let that loose. That's where you connect and make sure that's always closed. The way you're going to be checking this is if your LCD is damaged, if this unit right here, the accelerator is damaged, sometimes you can see, that sign right there. But to be sure is that try to do few things like maybe press this to see does it respond. Okay, it's responding. Press something else, maybe like do something like you do in a setup or something, and let it come like P1, P0, and something is there. Don't change anything, just leave it the way it is. The only thing you do is just press this again to get it back. So when you do all that and you can see that the LCD is responding, then it's not an LCD. It might be. So the two suspect, after you check all the wires are not touching. Make sure the wires are not touching. Go around all the wires and be sure that there is no cut anywhere. There's nothing. There's no wire touch. Because if any wire is touching the other one, you are gonna be getting that thing on the instrument cluster on the LCD. Make sure that the wires are free. They're not touching anything. And you do all that, like you can see all the wires are free there. They all taped and the sign is still there. So your next thing is gonna be, okay, you're gonna have to come and trace this brake line. So this brake line, which is this line here. You trace it. You trace it, look, it goes all the way. You trace it, that's it. So that's it. It goes all the way. See, it goes all the way. Then it comes here. So when it comes here, look at that there, don't worry. I mean, that is not anything. And also, I forgot something to tell you, which is because that line there, when I opened it, I was pulling something and that line came out, but that line was in. So what happened is initially, you should be seeing your backlight on. Your backlight should stay on. So if I pull that back, and hold it, okay, I'm just going to put the phone maybe here. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this back. Okay, so now this is how it stays. Each time you put a screw on, you're going to be having your light on constantly. And this usually, when you have a situation like this, it means that you've applied a brake, because the system is saying that the brakes are applied, but the brakes are not applied. The brakes are free. So that means that it's a brake system, brake fault system somewhere. So that's why you got to check all the line to be sure that it's not that. Then when you see that, so this light is still on, because that wire that is loose, I hold it, but if I leave it, it's going to be going off, but because that's not connected, so it should be on. So don't worry about that. But what will happen is, with that wire being there, what I'm going to do is, if you remove now, because this wire, this line here, which is the brake line, is connected to this. You can see that the two wires, the red and black, which is live and neutral, connected to this, and this part is the one that goes to the controller. So if I remove this part now, if it's the brake fault and I remove this part, which I'm gonna hold the phone like this and see. If I remove this part now, which is off, you should not get any light from it, because now the power supply from the controller to that is being cut off. But then what will happen is, if the brake is the problem, that means that this thing should be off now, because the system is saying that when you brake, that's what you got this. So when you check all your brake line and everything is fine, and you're not sure why this thing is here, you have to disconnect. Trace the brake line all the way to where it's connected to the controller. You disconnect that brake line, and if you're still seeing this sign, then it means that your controller got a problem. So it's three things. You look around first to see if it's the LCD. You check the LCD, perform some function on the LCD, and it works fine. It means it's not an LCD, because the LCD can get defective as well, not responding or not actually doing what you want the LCD to do. But if the LCD is functioning, showing everything you pressing is responding, that means it's not an LCD. Because when the LCD is broken, the 3-ways LCD breaks down. Sometimes it just go very black. You press it on, you're not going to be seeing anything. You put your light on, the light will come on. That means that there's a power in the scooter. Then you ask yourself, why is this not coming on? Then you know that your LCD is gone. That's when you have to change your LCD, if that happened. Another way the LCD can go wrong is, the LCD comes on, but then when you press all the function, there's nothing working. You press this, you don't see, it's not responding. This is not shaking. This is just standstill. You're trying to perform like some sort of programming. There's nothing responding. That means the LCD is gone as well. Two things you can do to diagnose. Then you have to trace the LCD line to the controller. The two controllers are that you trace the LCD line to see which one is connected to. Disconnect the LCD line and reconnect that. So maybe sometime power fluctuation, electronic device, something, I don't know, sometime maybe something holds some power, don't release some power, and something can go wrong. But if you remove it and then plug it back after a few seconds, it means that you reset the LCD. If you do that and still the LCD is doing this thing, I mean your LCD is bad. But in this case, we've checked the wires, and the wires are all taped correctly. They're not touching, but we're still getting this sign. Then we press, there's nothing happening. The motors are not turning, there's nothing happening. Stand still, we press that. We check the brake handle, there's nothing happening. We check the brake line, the caliper, there's nothing stuck there. Is that the way this start? Okay, fine. If the braking fault or there's a fault in the braking line, then let's remove the braking line from the controller. So that means that we eliminate the braking system totally. And you trace the brake line to the part that's connected to the controller, you remove that, and then you go back and check the LCD, you see saying this sign. That means that your controller has a problem. So this is the time you have to go back to my other videos about how to check your controller, if it's wrong or good. I made a video on my channel how to check your controller or controller repairs there. So you follow the same steps. I don't want to do the same thing. I'm going to be doing the same step of checking the MOSFET or the transistors in the controller to see if any of them got damaged, or if the controller happened to be okay, then I have to check another thing. But in this case, the only thing I can be wrong right now that I can guarantee about 90% sure will be the controller, because it's not the LCD, and the brake line is not a brake line, because we just disconnect the brake line totally from the controller, and we're still saying this sign. So that means that the only problem we got right here is the controller. So I'm going to be doing what I did last time about controller repair. I'm going to be taking a controller out, open it, and read all the power line with the MOSFET to see if they all read correctly. If they don't read correctly, there's two controllers that whichever don't read correctly, we'll need replacing. And after that should come back to a good working order. So this is just a short video to show you if your scooter just stopped working suddenly, you don't know what happened, and you see that sign on the instrument cluster. Or maybe you have another scooter that don't even have this type of instrument cluster, and you're not seeing that sign there. It's the same procedure. Check first. When that happens, the first thing you do, check your brake line. If possible, disconnect the brake line from the controller and hold your throttle to see if the motor is going to spin. If the motor doesn't spin, then it means that it's not your brake line. Reconnect your brake line. And now go now with your controller, with your throttle, to see maybe if you have another throttle, if you have a spare throttle or anything about, or if you have LCD throttle that actually shows this on the LCD, just try to see, because there are some scooters that don't have LCD. It's just a throttle by handle. You just twist it and you go, or you just press something. But if you would like it to have LCD throttle, then check to see if your LCD throttle is responding to any command you pull in. If they're not responding, then that means your LCD is broken. So it's not sending any information to the controller for the controller to control which part of the scooter you sending that information to. That's why you might be having that. But if your LCD is now, if your throttle is not the LCD type, then it might worth getting a spare throttle just to change it and see if it's that. If it's not, you can keep that for spare. But then you have to go now and disconnect the throttle line from the controller, few seconds, and put it back and do your check again, and nothing happens. Then you know now that the third thing and the most important thing to check is the controller. There are instances where the battery can be causing a problem as well. So if it's the battery, for instance, that's the battery right there. You can see, like I was saying, it's what? Let me just put, okay, you can see right there, it's saying 60 volt, 30 amps hour battery, LG. So that's the battery in this scooter. So this scooter, like I said, is a original LG battery from Korea. It's not Chinese scooter or whatever it is. So this is what you have there. So if this is the situation that you have this, and then what happens is, you press your light and you're not getting light. and then you put your charger in the charging port, and the charger says that the battery is charged, like showing green, but you're not getting light. That means that, or you're not getting horn. If you don't have light, you have horn, or any way, if the battery is not producing power, then maybe your LCD is not gonna work. That's the situation if you put your scooter on and the LCD is showing nothing. Now the scooter is off, but supposing you put it on and you're not seeing anything, and then you press your light and there is no light, it means that your battery has problem. You have to check to be sure if the battery terminals, which are actually there, are actually well connected. If the battery terminals are not cut loose or damaged or anything, that means that maybe it's time that your battery needs changing, depending on how long you've been using the scooter or have the battery. So this is the video that I try to make for you all to see. If suddenly your scooter stop working, you don't know why it stopped working, you don't panic, you don't throw it. You have to do these simple steps to see if you can actually, find which part of the scooter is causing the problem and replace that, and your scooter should be back to working order. There are instances, there are situations where it might be your motor, but when it's the motor, there's a different way as well. I've done a video as well on how to check if your motor is good or not on my channel. It's on one of the keyword videos, and it's the same instant for, because every electric scooter have the same magnet, coils, and a voltage induced into them. So it's not, whether it's keyword, whether it's Ultra G, or whether it's any other scooter, it's not different. They're all the same, way the way motor works. So if you follow the same way of testing your motor, then that means that it's not your motor. For instance, if it's the motor, all you're gonna have to do now is, like, for instance, this are the motor line in this scooter. So this line are the motor line. So in this line here, if you disconnect this, whichever this one, yeah, so this one I hold right here is the front one, because if you pull it, you can see the line going this way, and like this one is going. So yeah, that's the front one there, that's the back one. So if I lose this, if I lose these wires, if my motor is having a problem and I lose these wires, like disconnect them, my motor should not spin free. It should, when you spin it, you're not gonna get it rolling free, like, the way it rolls right now. When you spin it, you have to make like goo 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 goo. Yeah, it has to, like, it's like something is holding it. So you have to force it. When you spin it, it's not gonna spin and keep spinning. That means that your motor is good. But if you disconnect all this and you spin and your motor just keeps spinning straight, like freely, that means that the motor, there's something, the body in the motor, or there's something is wrong with the motor. So you have to change that motor, or have the motor looked at by the people that repairs motor. They might open and check the coils to see if the coils are not bent and all that. So that's how you check your scooter. If your scooter just stop working suddenly, you don't know what is wrong with it. Those are the four main things. But the first thing first is you check your throttle, check your brake line, check your battery, check your controller, and if nothing works, then maybe you might check your motor or so. But the reason that to see if the motor works or not is very easy, because with the motor, that means you're not going to be seeing that sign that I'm seeing on my scooter. If you have any of those type of scooter with LCDs, you're not going to be seeing that sign. Everything's going to be all right, but the only thing is when you press the throttle, you're not going to be getting any turning. The motor is not going to turn. In my case, it's a dual drive. So if that was the case, maybe if I put it to single drive, if maybe my front motor is gone, it's not working. If I put it to single drive and I press that throttle, the front motor is not going to turn. But if I put it to dual drive, the back one will turn. Then I know straight that is the front motor, because if one motor is turning, that means there's power going to all parts of the motor, but one of them is not responding. So I may just go check that one. But if you have just a one drive, like the Kia, which got just one drive, and that happened, and you're not sure about everything, you're not seeing no sign or anything, perform all these steps, your brake lines, check them. You check your instrument throttle. If you have an LCD type, check to see everything is responding to any function you pull in. If you have another type, try to see if you can replace that, disconnect from the controller, and see. If that still doesn't work, go now and check your controller, open it and read all the transistors of the MOSFET on the controller and say which one is damaged. If it's the controller, replace the controller. If you can repair, follow my videos and repair and put it back in your scooter shoe work. So I'm just going to end this video here. This is the second video I'm making today, just for y'all to, help y'all about if your scooter just stop working suddenly, you don't know what to do, follow this to repair your scooter. So shout out to y'all for subscribing to my channel. Keep subscribing to my channel, share my videos, and keep safe until my next video. Y'all take care of yourself very well in this difficult time, and always help those that you can around you, but protect yourself too. I'm out now, and take care of yourself. Bye.